Welcome to Transform Your Menopause with Essex Menopause Coach, the go-to podcast for anyone struggling from peri to post-menopause. If you're feeling overwhelmed, burnt out, or anxious, this is the place for you. Hosted by me, Julie, an award-winning coach who's been in your shoes, this podcast offers real understanding and practical help. I'll tackle menopause head-on with clear, no-nonsense guidance that makes a real difference. So whether you need support, tips, or just a friendly voice, I'm here to help you navigate menopause and rediscover your best self. Hello and welcome to my very first episode. So I thought it would be really useful to share with you what my experience of perimenopause has been so far and how this has led me to where I am now. And that would really help us get to know each other a little. So I'm 44 now, but my experience with perimenopause began when I was about 38. I was marathon training at the time and started to see irregular periods. So I could never really plan when my period was going to come anymore. Sometimes it'd be further apart, sometimes closer together, sometimes heavy, sometimes not very much at all. The GP and I at the time both pretty much put this down to the stress of marathon training and left it at that, really. But my irregular periods continued after the marathon, and I also developed really sore, tender breasts. And when I went along to the GP this time, I remember her looking much more concerned than the last time I went. Anyway, I was sent off for a hysteroscopy and some blood tests, all of which came back clear. And I was told that I had dysfunctional periods and sent on my way with no further advice. I'm not sure how long after it was, but then I developed rosacea, which is a skin complaint, again, associated with perimenopause. I only knew about it because my mum suffered with the condition. So presented at the GP again and said that this is what I thought I had, and was told that it was highly unlikely that that was what I had because it was an old woman's complaint. But here's a cream, and if it works, then you'll have your answer. And the cream did work. But fast forward a few years, and I had moved to Essex, and one of my new friends here asked me if I knew anything about nutrition in menopause. I was working in nutrition by this time, and I could cover many different areas. So I could work with children within sports nutrition, postnatal, but I was pretty much most of my work was with midlife women who were looking to manage their weight. None of my training had covered menopause at all, so this intrigued me somewhat, and I enrolled myself on a course in London, and then that was it. I was 100% completely down the menopause rabbit hole from that point on. And it was at this stage that I realised that I had been perimenopausal myself for years. So by now, I wasn't sleeping very well. I had brain fog. I had hot sweats, night sweats. It was really affecting my confidence, being new to an area and meeting lots of new people. I was doing nutrition for menopause workshops with the public. And I just felt like I was this hot, sweaty mess at times. So, I can completely understand how, your symptoms might impact you when you're at work yourself. Now, there was a silver lining to this for me in that I was able to take all of that knowledge and pretty much use myself as my own guinea pig. And really, that is what's led me to really hone and refine my nutrition support to what it is now, to the service that I support you with. I also learned the real importance of stress management and how that links up with nutrition. I was getting repeated injuries. So I was having to stop running, spending a lot of time to take time off to recover. It was taking longer to recover. It was getting more and more difficult to keep bouncing back from these episodes. So again, the stress, I wasn't really aware of the stress element until I went off and researched it and put the pieces of the puzzle together, and again tested this out on myself. And that's why breath work is now a big piece of the service, again, that I offer to you to support you with your symptoms. Now, luckily enough, I was pretty much able to alleviate a lot of my symptoms with nutrition, and working on the stress side of things. But I still wasn't, although I was sleeping better, I still wasn't reaching that deeper restorative stage of sleep. And rage, I was left with that pure rage. The one where, your husband just breathes funny and it really irritates you. But there was a particular incident that I remember with my daughter one morning where she was getting ready for school and she asked me something like, do you know where my water bottle is? Or do you know where my lunchbox is? And that just descended into this huge shouting match for absolutely no reason other than me being hormonal. She went off to school in not a very nice state, and I was left at home feeling pretty shitty for the rest of the day. Sitting there with that guilt, waiting for her to come home so that I could explain myself and apologize. Not that she actually remembered it when she did get home, but anyway. So this was the point at which I added HRT to my toolkit. Now, I had already completed Dr. Louise Newson's Confidence in Menopause HRT training. So I had no qualms in adding HRT into my support because I knew the positive impacts it has on both my symptoms now and protecting long-term health, and particularly bearing in mind that I was starting this process maybe a little bit earlier than average. I thought that was a really important aspect for me to add in. And that really takes me to where I am now. So I'm pretty much, I would say, symptom free. I do experience a bit of brain fog from time to time, but it's nowhere near the level that it was when I was really down in the depths with my symptoms. So that's where I am now, and takes me to the end of my very first episode. So I would love to know, I mean, did you identify with any of that at all? Maybe leave me a voice note, or you could pop me a DM on Instagram. I'd also love to know what you would like to hear in future episodes. So again, just pop me a line. Thank you so much for listening. I would also love it if you subscribed or told your friends that I am here. And I'd love you to be part of this growing community. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope to see you again soon. Thanks, my love. Bye.